Hello and welcome back. I'm Mira the Montessorian, and this is the fifth part of our six-part series in how to do Montessori at home without breaking the bank, or the invisible side of Montessori. We've talked extensively about observing your child, giving access to everyday items in the home, or creating spaces that your child has unique access to. We talk about getting in the kitchen, encouraging cleanup, helping them with routine. We talked in part 4 about getting outside in nature and really just talking to your child as much as possible, preparing them ahead for the things you're doing. This part 5, we're going to talk about reading to your child. I have to say, reading with my children or with the children that I've worked with in the class environment, it's really one of my favorite activities. I feel like reading really opens the door for imagination, vocabulary, love of learning, and authorship for later. And it's really fun to convey to the children that whatever they're reading in a book was somebody's idea. And so you're really reading somebody's mind by reading a book or a poem, because somebody came up with that idea and put it on paper. And because we're able to read what they wrote, we're reading their thoughts. So if you've never said that to your child or never thought it before, try that, and it might be more exciting to get into reading with them. I'll also talk about the criteria for books. So in Montessori, we really believe that under the age of 6 years old, children really need a concrete, idea of things, of everyday things. So as much as you can, try to find books that convey everyday activities, and humans do human things and animals do animal things. And I know this can be something very challenging. I struggle with it myself. I wish I could rewrite a bunch of children's books, or not rewrite them, but re-illustrate them, if I could do something like that, and make the Berenstain Bears people instead of bears, and it could be a little bit more relatable. Oftentimes there's animal characters that act a lot like humans, or animals that are friends in a book that they would never be friends in nature. And I always point out to my child, so if you do have books like that, it's fine, we all do. I usually say something like, oh, it's so silly that an alligator and a mouse would be friends. I think in nature that alligator might not be friends with the mouse, or he might eat him, and be blunt and honest about it in that way. Or, wow, it's so silly that those rabbits are wearing clothes just like us. Can you imagine that that would happen? And then maybe have a discussion with your child about it. Could be more fun and make the bedtime discussion a little bit longer. I also find that after reading to my child, it's nice to ask them questions about the story, just to see what they really picked up from it. Or it's a great time to talk about the day, what happened in the day if you weren't with them all day, or even if you were, like, what was really their part of the day that they struggled with or enjoyed, or that they really want to talk about. So once you're sitting down with your child, you're really creating this great time for attachment and bonding, and you open the door for more discussion with your child, and just this fun way to get into their imagination. And so I really recommend reading to your child, finding books that are reality-based, and then if they're not, making a discussion about it. So hopefully that's helpful for you, and we'll see you in our last part.